Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? You got the PowerPoint
Good
or
morning.
you got the PowerPoint live? Okay. Yeah. How's everybody doing this morning?
Good.
Good, 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 good. Good, all those amazingly good looking faces and Rick. Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How's everybody
Welcome
doing?
aboard to the team. I'm going to do an introduction to you real quick once everybody gets loaded in. Um, uh, But welcome to the team. Congratulations. And extremely excited, buddy. Extremely excited.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm excited as well.
We've got a little bit different morning. So just to kind of give you some insight. So everybody, as everybody's coming in and loading in, I want to introduce Andrew, um, who is a new member to the Unshakable Investor team out of Florida. And I don't
Yes,
remember,
sir.
yeah,
Panama
Pensacola,
City.
Panama City,
Yeah,
I knew it
close,
started
close.
with a P. I knew it started
Yeah.
with a P. Panama City, Florida. So we are going to be onboarding him this week. Andrew is going to be running our sales division as we have continued to grow and build. Not only the Ignite, we have 181 members of the Ignite program, which is phenomenal. But as we've been continuing to grow the courses, the real estate courses, the Empire OS courses, which is the business development, pillars, growth, and all that. And as my man Nick Love continues to grow and build our AI platform, hey, Brenda's on. We need a rock star in the sales division. And we went searching high and low worldwide, and we found Mr. Andrew Hearn. And so we're excited. We're very, very excited to dump all this onto him and just be able to continue doing what we're doing and let him pick up that burden. But welcome aboard, buddy. This is our Ignite call. So just kind of give you a little insight. Ignite is all about, I don't have it here. It's the Unshakable Self book. Oh, yeah, this one here talks about our how to become mentally, spiritually, physically disciplined, daily disciplines. And in life, we know that in order to overcome anything in life, business or personal, you have to have a strong foundation. You have to have a strong three-legged stool, I like to call it, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And so we started the Ignite program to really help empower people Monday morning, starting off their work week with the ability to have the right mindset, the right understanding, the right clarity, the right disciplines, and go through that. So we kind of have this every Monday morning community thing, and we help inspire and grow people. So that's kind of what you're on, Andrew. Welcome to the team, and very, very excited to. And I know Randy couldn't even sleep all weekend. Randy kept calling me all weekend, tossing and turning. He couldn't sleep because he's able now to hand all this off to you and let you run and gun because this is definitely outside his wheelhouse. In fact, Randy doesn't even have a wheelhouse, so it's everything's outside his wheelhouse. Just kidding. Randy's a good guy. Randy's a good guy. All right. So, as you all may have seen, recognized, or didn't, I don't know. We're doing something a little different today, guys. We're going to talk about. I was on a call this weekend, and I'm not even going to say who it was because I don't even really like the guy. But I'm telling you, the message he had resonated so powerful that I wanted to run it this morning. And the title of it is Committed. And it's not the committed that we think that our family should be, mentally committed. This is, well, it is mentally committed, but are you committed? Not committed to the insane asylum that most of us want our in-laws and outlaws to go to, but are you committed? Are you seriously committed? And I want to start this out with two stories. So just leave it right there for a second. I want you to think and visualize this as we go into this. Picture two farmers who have the same exact amount of land. They have the same soil. They're in the same climate. I mean, they're like neighbors. And they just inherited this land, and one farmer is just stoked, excited. I mean, he just can't shut up about how he's going to have the best crops. He's going to be just the best farmer the community's ever had. He's going to give back to the community, and every day he talks about it. Every day he's going into town and he's sharing with everybody his vision, his goals, his aspirations. But he never works the field. He never pulls the weeds. He never cultivates. He went out there and he planted some seeds, but never got the whole pasture planted. And then one day he saw there was a bunch of weeds and he got all motivated and he ran out there and he pulled some weeds for a little bit. But more importantly, every day with enthusiasm, with passion, with zeal, he's telling everybody at the local diner, at the feed store, how great his crops are going to be. And then you got the other guy, his neighbor. Exact same soil, same plot of land, same climate, doesn't say a word. But he gets up every morning, come rain, come 100-degree temperatures, comes illnesses, but every day he's out there planting the seeds, cultivating the weeds, making sure that everything is working. When there's a disease that hits the crop, he's immediately in town getting what needs to be done, getting educated on the disease, learning about the crops, learning about what they need, and then implementing, basically executing. End of the season, farmer number one, crops wilted, dirt, dry, weeded, no fruits of the labor, and doesn't understand why. Because he had all the motivation, had all the inspiration, had all the passion, but didn't ever execute. Farmer number two delivers an amazing crop, has amazing success, and has done everything that he set out to do and reaped the rewards. See, that's life. That's a lot of us. Every day we're telling everybody who we are, what we're going to do, how we're going to transform the world. And we're so busy talking about it, we don't have any time to execute. So I want to ask you this question right here, right now, and we're going to dive into this presentation. How committed are you to creating the absolute best life you're capable of? And I need you to stop being emotional. Being committed is not emotional. Being committed is saying it's going to be hard. I'm going to get my teeth kicked in. I'm going to be beat down and beat up. And the storms of life are going to come and they're going to hit me head on. Right now, we got like 30-mile-an-hour winds last night, all day yesterday and today, and it is unbelievable. Every 5 minutes, I'm going out there looking to see if my roof is still on my house. Storms of life we can't control. How committed are we? Go ahead to this. Oh, yeah, this is the story. So going forward. There you go. Yep. The question most people avoid is most people say they want a better life. They want more freedom, more money, more peace, more impact. And these aren't small. They do represent a really deep, deep human longing of life and means something to everybody. And yet, despite how universal the longing is, most people never move from wanting to building. See, we all want every day. I work with a lot of individuals, personally and business. Now that we're coaching 24/7, I probably talk to 3 to 6 people a day about their business, about their financial future, and they all want this success. They all want to have fulfillment. They all want financial freedom. They want less stress. They want more. And we tell them, and one of the things I really love sharing is our resume, who we are, where we've been, what we've done, to say that I believe I'm more qualified than anybody else to teach you, to show you, to guide you, to direct you. And they're like, yes, that's what I want. And I'm like, great. Are you willing to do what I did? Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in. I mean, if you did it, I'm willing. Just guide me, direct me. Great. And then we give them a regiment, a protocol, a KPI. And each week we do a follow up, and I'm like, you didn't even pull the weeds out of the pasture. You didn't even till the ground. Oh, I know, Toby. You just got to understand. I mean, you know, this came up and that came up, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I know all that comes up. You still got to go till the ground. You still got to go pull the weeds. You still got to do what you got to do. Now, there's 24 hours in a day. And I promise you, whatever you dealt with today or yesterday or last week didn't take all 160 hours. Maybe it, and here's what cracks me up. And I'm going to be raw with you guys today. I've been getting coached. So I'm going to pay it forward, y'all. You're on here because you want more. Guess what? You're going to get all of me. I've been tenderfooting around you. No more. No more. All y'all come up with these. Well, I need to have this time for me, and I need to have this time for my family. And I mean, Toby, come on. I can't go 20 hours a day like you. Well, then you can't have the success like me. See, you have to be willing to do whatever that person did to achieve what that person has. And I will tell you, my family will tell you, nobody ever in any fashion has ever outworked me. My team will tell you. Rochelle, who's been with me for 22 years, it feels like. I think it's only been 12, but I've been married for 32. I have two wives, Angie, and then Rochelle, who's my work wife. They'll tell you, no matter what, when we're making hay, when we're high in cotton, I'm still putting in 18-hour days. And when we're burning, means our fields are burned, the crops are terrible, I'm putting in now 22 hours a day. It doesn't matter. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes and get rid of this noise. Oh, well, Toby, I mean, my family needed me. I had an emergency, and I get that. There are some emergencies that need to be dealt with, but there's some things that can be put off. See, you have to be willing to sacrifice today for tomorrow's rewards. If you want the rewards of today, you're going to have the sacrifice of tomorrow. You just understand that. Either you put in the time, energy, efforts, and whatever it takes today, and you will be rewarded. I promise you, I guarantee you. Or you take all your rewards today and then you suffer for tomorrow. Because there'll come a point in time where you're out of time. Are you interested in a better life? Or are you truly committed to building one? See, nobody's going to give you a better life. There's not a person in this world. And if any of y'all think you're going to win the lottery, good luck. And those people, and I love watching that show. That's why when I want to laugh at my own greed, I watch that show. How the lottery ruined my life, or whatever. I can't remember the title. And I see these people who lived in trailer parks who were dead broke, making $20, $30, $40,000 a year, win the lottery, and it may only be a couple million, 3 million, whatever. And within 24 months, they're worse off than they were before they had the lottery. We've seen it. That's why they made a TV show over it. So There ain't nobody winning the lottery unless you create your own winning ticket. And you can. You can. You absolutely can. Next. See, are you interested or are you committed? Interested people show up when it's convenient. Life didn't get in the way, got nothing else going on. I'm going to make it to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that because I need to. I know I need to. So therefore, let's do it. They really get after it when they're motivated, when they've watched a YouTube, when they've been to an event, when they've heard me speak, whatever. Something motivated them, and within that next 2 to 5 hours, man, they are gung ho. But when things get a little bit uncomfortable, when the spouse is hollering, hey, I don't get to see you anymore. The kids aren't being around you anymore. All this noise, and that's all it is noise. Trust me, because I've raised my kids through the most disruptive time in history besides COVID. There's been 2 worldwide impacts in my lifetime. One was the 2008 financial crash of the mortgage industry, and number 2 was COVID. And listen to me right here, ladies and gentlemen. I went through both of them. I had over $100 million a year company when the 2008 crash hit, and I became homeless. Rebuilt. Was lender of the year in 2019. COVID hits in 2020 and shuts our industry down. And in 2022 was Inc. magazine top 100 fastest growing real estate companies in the nation. Why? Because I was committed. I wasn't interested. I was committed. And when things got tough, I got tougher. Interested people set goals that they're not willing to make the sacrifice to achieve. And here's the other thing. Hear me again. Interested people just will wait until the time is right. We probably get, I don't know, we'll do a webinar on a Tuesday night. We'll get 15 to 20 people, book a call. Yeah. So many people book a call, and I'll go through a game plan, a playbook for them to turn their business around with almost absolute guarantee. I mean, I can't lay it out there. You could, I tee it up so easy that it's like an adult playing t-ball. And they're like, you know what, Toby? I'm just not ready. The time is just not right. And I have gotten mature because I used to just spin out. And I'm like, you're right. Because you aren't mentally ready. You're going broke. Your business is about to fail. We're creating a cadence to ensure bailing you out, getting you on the right path. And you're like, it's just not the right time. Now, committed people show up even when it's difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a torn rotator cuff, and I'm today is about Toby and what we've done, because if this guy from Stillwell, Oklahoma, that grew up on a dairy farm with little to no training, education, mentoring, can build the empires I built, I know everybody on here can. But I'm going to share with you why I've had the success I have. I have a torn rotator cuff. We just started this physical regiment, Randy, myself, Angie, Rochelle, working out. And we kind of had this camaraderie of. And I tore this right in the middle of a set. And I was pissed, was angry, because it was now going to set me back. They said 6 months. 6 months is too long. I told them, give me 6 weeks. Now, 3 weeks into it, I tear the bicep. I thought I tore the bicep tendon. I cried like a little girl. I was very upset emotionally. I was pissed I had to start all over. They had to go back in and have surgery. Come to find out, all I did was tear the bicep tissue, the muscle tissue, which is like no big deal because in 5 days now there's no pain. And today I'm back in the gym working out. Now they're telling me don't do nothing for 6 months. I told them I would not do anything for 6 weeks. But regardless, I'm still here every morning grinding out on the things that I can do. It's difficult. I got one bicep that looks pretty good. I got one that looks like it belongs on a 16-year-old girl. But see, no matter what, it's difficult. I'm still here because I'm committed. I don't just want this, I'm committed to achieve this. You execute even when you don't feel like it. How many of us want to be in shape, to be healthy, to be, feeling on fire for life and for God, but today I just don't feel like it? Well, that's on you. You're the one talking yourself out of success. You're the one that can't get out of your own way. You must make sacrifices to honor your decision. So one of the Tobyisms that most of you may remember is the decisions you make will shape your life. But the life you want should shape your decisions. I use that quote almost every time I'm on stage to start my message because that is universal in all things. So you must make sacrifices to achieve that decision. And here's the other thing: start before the conditions are perfect. Zig Ziglar said, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to start to become great. You go back over to the interested people, well, they're just waiting for the right time. Now is the right time. It doesn't get any better, but it will get worse. You must fully understand. You have to start to become great. You do not, nor will you be great to get started. And the decisions you make determine your behavior. Everybody wants the outcome: financial freedom, healthy body, powerful marriage, peace of mind, and a meaningful life. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I had a conversation this weekend. We're working with a company that is struggling immensely. And it was stated, and I hear this quite a bit, but this one really resonated with me when I was having this conversation, that, they think their marriage is in trouble because here they go again in financial distress. And I was talking to one of my partners, and I said, I've been in financial distress. We had millions, and then we were homeless. And then we rebuilt, and COVID hit. But the one thing that never, ever was a topic of discussion was my marriage in trouble? Ever. And I was telling this person I was on the phone, I said, in 32 years, there's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been a lot of knockdown dragouts. There's been a lot of yelling and screaming, but it never at any point was our marriage ever an option. And when I hear people say, my business is in trouble and my marriage is starting to suffer, I'm like, well, then your marriage was weak to begin with. You talk about being interested versus committed. They were interested in being married. They were interested in having a family. They were interested in having all these great things that marriage is supposed to be, but they weren't committed. Because if a storm of life challenges you that easily, you're not really committed. So the powerful marriage is a byproduct of your commitment to everything that you say you want to become. Financial freedom, healthy body, peace of mind, meaningful life. Everybody wants that, but are they willing? Because, see, everything comes at a price. Everything comes at a price. How hard are you willing to work? How much are you willing to sacrifice to achieve these things? Well, she was unloyal or he was unloyal. Well, there's a reason for that. Because if you go back to the day that you got engaged and the day you got married, it should have been at that moment in time, there was no other person in the picture. Now, if there was, then you shouldn't have ever gotten married. But let's just assume that you were in love with each other at the moment you got engaged and the moment you got married. And when life was good, you guys were great. And just because things got stressful, you started going outside of the marriage for counseling? Meaning, well, this person would listen to me, or that person would give me attention when I needed it the most. That's on you. That's 100% on you, because I'll tell you, I have felt that way when I needed to have a shoulder to cry on, I guess, if I'm going to be transparent. If I can be a jerk, I can also be transparent on my weaknesses. When I needed my wife to lie to me and tell me I was still amazing and I was still her hero, and she had no problem with it. In fact, I will tell you this, men, and Andrew, I know you're recently engaged. Your spouse wants you to be the hero every second of every minute of every day. That's why they love you. They love you because you are more empowering than any other man they've ever met. You have brought something to the table that is fulfilling internally and emotionally for them. And therefore, they have chosen you over the whole field of men that they can choose from. And so when you lose that, when you become a crybaby, when you become a poor me, when you become oh, the world is beating me up and I don't know what to do, you lose. And they lose faith in you. Now, my wife walked in during COVID and said, I'm done listening to you pout. I'm done watching you sit in here and stress. Fix it. And walked out. And I knew right then and there, if I don't fix it, not only will I lose the company, I'm going to lose the woman that I love. And so it's my turn to step it up. But at no point in time did she start looking outside of our marriage for that fulfillment. She looked internally to the marriage and said, fix it. I married you because of who you are, then become that guy again. And I don't care what happened. Fix it. The person that I was listening to used this analogy, and I thought it was empowering. When you have a garden and everything is dying, the roses, the corn, the tomatoes, whatever is in your garden, do we blame the plants? Do we say, oh my gosh, those were bad seeds, those were bad this, bad that? No, we don't blame the plants. We blame the environment. We blame the soil. We blame the lack of nutrients. We blame the lack of watering. We fix what the environment is not providing, or we change the environment. So look at your life. Look at your life. Look at your environment. Is your environment feeding you, giving you nutrition, giving you inspiration, giving you life to grow in, or is your environment stagnant? Meaning it ain't doing nothing for you. In fact, it could be bringing you down. In order for you to be the most amazing rose bush, the most amazing product, you have to be in the right environment. And that cannot coexist negative. Meaning you can't, if you are held back because of your environment, if you're held back and you want more, and every time you try, your environment brings you down, then you have to change the environment. You have to. And here's the deal on everything that we're talking about today, there's only one person that can fix all this, and that's you. When I'm coaching businesses and telling them what we need to do and how we need to do it, I have to get a full on commitment from them that they are willing and ready to change, even if I say, scrape it all the way down to the ground and we'll rebuild it. If they're going to pay me $25,000 to fix their business, they got to be willing to burn the boats, or I won't take them on. We've got a client right now that I am nervous about, that I want to take on. I want to help. They need the help. I just don't know if they're willing to burn the boats. And I have to spend a lot of time asking them a lot of questions. And you still don't get it right every time, but we get pretty close. See, what's true for roses is true for human beings. When a person's life is struggling, when the results are weak, when the potential is untapped, when the growth is stalled, we have a culture habit of pointing at the person and asking what's wrong with them. But what's most important, and we never ask the right question. The right question is what's wrong with the environment? What's wrong with the soil? See, we look at individuals, we judge them and say, oh, look at that person. They failed here, they failed there, they can't get out of their own way. And maybe it's not them. Well, it is them because they haven't gotten out of their environment. But if we can help them see that, if we can help them understand what's holding them back because they truly do want this and they may be committed, they just don't know any better. It's our fiduciary duty, it's our responsibility to help point out that your soil is contaminated, your environment is bad. It may be a bad job to where you're just beat down and beat up. Now, I got to be careful about saying that because I don't want my employees to say, Toby, you're talking about the job and the environment. Well, we need to do a self-check on your soil here at the office. I doubt that they would ever say that because they know it would really come and trained on them. But anyway, but sometimes people can't see what's wrong because they're too close to the trees to see the forest. Now, you have negative influences, which 99% of the time is our closest friends and family. 99% of the time, the biggest influence that's holding us back are our friends and family for multiple reasons. One is they don't want you to have more success than them. Number two, they may know more about you and think that you don't have the ability to change. I love it. And my wife and I were talking about this weekend. I was the black sheep of the family, living on that dairy farm. I got held back in fourth grade. They tried to hold me back again in my sophomore year. I was always in trouble. I was a big rebel. My brothers told my wife when we were engaged or newlyweds, we always believed he'd either be in prison or dead by the time he was 30. And they still say that today. And I'm like, you guys can shut up now because I'm over 30. I surpassed that. They just really never saw me as who I am because it was different than them. They all grew up on this dairy farm. They all grew up in this conservative mindset. And I was this outlandish character that I am today, but I was that way at the age of 10. I was always hyper, always excited, always ready to conquer the world, and was not easily contained. My energy was profound even as a 10-year-old. In fact, I was having a conversation just this weekend with my oldest brother, and we were talking about my coaching and speaking and all that. He said, you've always been able to spread the crap with the best of them. And I know what he meant, but he's not wrong. And I said, Jeff, there was 12 of you that doubted me. But see, you guys saw in me what I always knew was in me. You just didn't understand what it was. I have a passion and a fire to change the world. And they don't. They don't. They have jobs. They get up and they go to work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. They contribute to a 401k. They do this. They are robots. I was selling tomatoes in little bitty quart containers all summer long. My dad would give me a 5-gallon bucket of tomatoes. He would take me to town. He'd take us to town. We get these little bitty containers, little paper containers. You put about 6 tomatoes in there, and you go door to door, and I would sell those for $2. I outsold. There was 4 of us. There was me and 4 brothers. I would outsell all of them every time. You know why? Because as I emptied my bucket out, I would steal from their bucket. So it always looked like my bucket was always full and theirs was empty, and they thought they were selling more until the end of the day, I had twice as much money. I outsmarted them. They thought I stole from them. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But here I was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, 6 years younger than the next one, and outsmarted them because I wanted to be the best. I wanted to have more. When I was 6 years old, ladies and gentlemen, my mother and stepfather would not buy me things I wanted as a kid. And in those days, you had comic book magazines, and at the very back of that were toys and a number on it. 200, 600, 1200, didn't matter, it was a number. And basically, you'd say, if you sell this many boxes of greeting cards, you could have that toy. And so I would tell my mom, here's the toy I want. She would order the cases of greeting cards. I would go door to door selling those for $1 a piece. And I would then turn that in and get my toy. Now, understand 6, 7, 8 years old doing this because I was committed to achieving whatever I saw and thought I deserved. Negative influences, destructive habits. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to change the way you do things. And I'm going to be blunt. I think I've already said that once. I think you're already prepared for that. If you're not getting your lazy butts out of bed at 5 in the morning, shame on every one of you, other than the person that got off the midnight shift. But for those of you that go to bed 9, 10 o'clock at night or sooner and are not getting up by 5 in the morning, absolutely shame on you. Shame on you. I'm embarrassed to say that I call you a dear friend. Because see, the people that get up around 4 or 5 in the morning get more done in the next 3 hours than they'll get done all day long. Because see, what happens at 8 o'clock, the rest of the world wakes up. The rest of the world comes to work. The rest of the world now starts becoming the noise around you, which distracts you, pulls your time away. And if you're not starting your day until 7:30, 8 o'clock, then you got nothing done for you. Change your habits. Change your habits. Structure. Are you just getting up and executing by reaction? Meaning you're reactive to whatever happens. You really have no cadence. You have no structure. You have no discipline. And are you seriously, truly holding yourself accountable. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we have over how many, 2000, 2200 clients came in the last 6 months. We've talked to every bit of 50% of those. And of those 50%, I would say 75% of them, the last two on that slide, lack of structure, lack of accountability is the number one problem. And then destructive habits. And then they create their own negative influences. Structure creates execution. Execution creates success. Go ahead to the next two. Commitment means changing soul right there. If you are committed to a better life, if you are committed to everything we've talked about, if you are truly not just wanting it, but seriously say, Toby, I'm committed. Rick Rose, I'm committed. Rochelle, I'm committed. Andrew, I'm committed. Then you got to change your soul. First and foremost, you have to change your soul. We have to replace the weakness, remove the toxins, build strength, and then maintain that growth. This is something that everybody must fully understand. You cannot keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Albert Einstein said that is the definition of insanity. To continue doing the same thing over and over, hoping, praying, and begging for a different result. I bring all this up today because as I was working on a business playbook of a company that I'm very familiar with, and we have shared with them over the last year, they need to change things or they're going to be in financial distress. And today, guess what? They're in financial distress simply because they never changed anything. They have the want, they have the desire, they have the product in the program, they have all the makings to be a phenomenal 10, 15, $20 million a year company, but they have yet to change their soil, to change their activity, to change their community. And because of that, time is running out. The three pillars of the unshakable life: mental, spiritual, physical. As I shared with you, the unshakable self. If you have not, there's how many people on here? 30 people, 25? For you, 25, 30 people that are on here, if you do not have my book, I am heartbroken. Heartbroken, just flat out heartbroken. You have just taken a dagger, a 9-inch dagger, shoved it straight into my heart, and then twisted it so that the wound cannot heal. You need my book. If you can't afford it, call me. Personally, call me. I'll tell you how to go earn $10, $15 to buy my book. I will not send you one for free. I've already done all that. Mentally, spiritual, physical is the one platform you must build every second of every minute of every day. And here I'm going to break this down to you. We're going to start. I should have changed these. I believe spiritually should be first. If you do not believe in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, call me. I will help you understand the power of that. If you do not have him as your absolute best friend, call me. I will do free consultation with you until the cows come home. And I do not know what that means because our cows never left home. But that's a saying that people say. So I will do it until the sky turns, well, I know the moon turns blue. I don't know what the other sayings are, but whatever time it takes, I will work with you every second of every minute, every day to help you understand Jesus Christ is the only way for salvation and fulfillment of life. Okay? We will always start there. Number two, Once you have your spiritual discipline down, meaning every minute, the minute you wake up in the morning, you praise God for giving you breath in your lungs. Because as I've shared, there's a lot of people worldwide that did not wake up this morning, ladies and gentlemen. There is a ton of people who did not wake up this morning. There are family members mourning the loss of a loved one. You are blessed. You are chosen. You are predestined. You are here today because God chose you for another day. Thank Him for that moment, that opportunity, and then go live it to the fullest. And at the end of the day, before you close your eyes, you thank Him for all that you did and all that He did through you and all the lives He introduced to you and all the inspiration you provided. Thank you, Lord, for all that you've done. Let's do it again tomorrow, if it be your will. That has to be your number one discipline. Number two, once that starts, once that happens, you then focus on your mental growth. And when I talk about mental growth, I'm talking about being the most educated person in your space. Knowing everything there is to know about who you are and what your calling is and how you can dominate the space. How you can become the go-to person that ensures and guarantees that when somebody needs what you do, you're the only one they know to call. Mental must grow. You must be reading books, watching YouTubes, watching podcasts, being educated on all levels of your purpose. Physically. If you are not physically sound, if you are not in good shape, with the way today's life is, with the way all the chemicals and the chemistries and all this in the food that we eat, you will be fighting a physical disease. And if you aren't spiritually and mentally strong, that means stress is overpowering you. Stress is now invading your space. Stress is now consuming you, and it will take you out physically. Physically becomes a cancer, becomes a stroke, becomes a heart attack, becomes high cholesterol, high cortisol. It becomes everything negative that your body cannot continue to fight over a long period of time. When you have these three grounded like a three-legged stool that supports you through all the storms of life, you will achieve everything you've ever dreamt of. That is an absolute, God is my witness, promise. When you have mastered these, and these have to become a daily discipline. When I tore this rotator cuff and I kind of quit working out, I was miserable. Not because the endorphins and the dopamine and all that wasn't kicking in like it normally does when you work out, but because I was becoming now depressed that I wasn't able to do what I need to do on a daily basis. It was disrupting me, and I allowed it to be very disruptive for a short period of time. And then I said, nope. I'm going to live what I preach. I'm going to live the unshakable self. I'm going to be a product of my own environment for the world to see. Nothing stops me. Nothing. And every person that has been a part of this journey has seen and says, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. He does not slow down for nothing. When I thought I tore my bicep tendon in Columbus, Ohio, I was devastated. Because I thought, you know what? You overshot your jump. You overshot your skis. You overshot your ability, and you screwed up, and now you're going back to ground zero. And what it did was say, yeah, you're a run and gunner. There's no doubt. But there's also a limitation to that. So do it with caution, do it with clarity, do it with discipline, and do it smart. And so I slowed down a little bit, but I never stopped moving forward. Got about 9 minutes. Commitment is not a feeling. Commitment is a decision backed by behavior. It's a decision made once, honored daily, that says, I will do what is required even when I don't feel like it. This is the defining line. When the alarm goes off at 5 a.m., and motivation is nowhere to be found, commitment gets up anyway. When the discipline has been hard for weeks and the results are not yet visible, commitment continues no matter what. When the old habits call and the excuses feel legitimate, I got a headache, I got a cough, the kids were up all night. I don't care what the reasoning is. We were up all night because of the storms. You can succumb to that. But when the excuses feel legit, when a normal person, when 99% of society says, I'm going to just not go forward today because of, commitment executes anyway. And that's what creates the 1%ers. Motivation is a passenger. Commitment is the driver. You don't wait for it, you summon it. You exercise it until it becomes who you are. The price of commitment, next one. When you go down this path, when you are fully committed, here are the rewards. Comfort. Old habits and excuses go away. Relationships, the right ones come into your world because they help drive you, help hold you accountable. And your old identity is vanished. Your old identity is gone. And you no longer are the farmer going into town every day to the local cafe, shooting your mouth off. You're no longer the farmer that is just talking about all the success you're having. You're the other farmer who never said a word, and the world recognizes you for your efforts. See, the most empowering thing that we will all experience is when somebody comes up to you and says, holy cow, you are a different person. Stephen Tonks, I can't imagine knowing him 2 years ago and watching him transform to the beast he is today. But I promise you, this, when his old family, old friends, old people see him today, I know, and maybe he hasn't seen somebody for a year or two, and they walk him, and I'll guarantee you this, they're going to go, wow, look at you, man. You are amazing. See, that's what it's all about. That's the confirmation that you know that the commitment, the sacrifices now paid off. Not only do you feel good, look good, have success, but now it's recognized you don't have to put up a billboard. People are putting up the billboard for you. When we were at an event at Omaha, and I got off stage, a lady came up and hugged me and started crying. And I told my wife, I said, this is exactly why we do what we do. We had our event here in Dallas, or in Allen. And after the day one event, I got an email from a gentleman that shared with me how we changed his life 2 years ago. I didn't even know we had done what we had done. He was next to dead broke, bankrupt, and suicide. And because we stepped in then and did what we said we would do, be who we said we were, he was able to overcome that financial burden, changed his life around, and was at our event, sent me an email, showed me a before picture when he was like 110 pounds, looked like a heroin addict, and real close to suicide, in his picture today. 140, 150 pound guy, looked one amazing. He said, because of you, here's who I am today. And I just want to say thank you. I didn't know we had done this. See, it's not about the pat on the back. It's not about the accolades. It's about the transformation and the lives we touch that we don't even know we're touching because we do what we do every day because it's our calling. That's the difference. That's your purpose. When those things happen, you then know I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. And now, hear me, you can't stop. You can't stop now. You've already set the path. You've already set the expectation. You're in too deep. There's no turning back. There's no slowing down. The world is now watching. And they're waiting for you to fail. They're waiting for you to stumble. They're waiting for you to trip. You can't. And I promise you this. The fulfillment is amazing. Because when the storms come back at you, when the transformation of life and success is right on the tip of the tongue and it's just not quite there and you want to quit, you want to give up, these things are going to come back and remind you why you don't quit. Go to the next one. The lie that stops those people. There's a lie that's so comfortable, so reasonably sounding, so universally repeated that most people never recognize it as a lie. It's the single most effective way your current self protects itself from the discomfort of change. I'll start when life slows down. I'll start when this happens. Let me get this out of the way and then I'll start. Let me finish this up and then I'll start. Let me feel better. Let me get health. Let me drives me crazy. It drives the unshakable self. It almost creates me to be shaked. I think that's a word. Shaken. Shaken. It does because I want to grab them by the throat and strangle the stupidity out of them. Say, person, people, wake up. You're only saying this because you're scared. Remember, there's two things in life that require absolute belief in something that you cannot see. That's fear and faith. It requires you to believe in something you cannot see. And most people do not commit because of fear. If the 30, 40 of us can help them see that fear is the best thing for them. Because fear is like pain. When you have pain, here's the good news. When something hurts, at least you know you're alive. Because if it don't hurt, it's probably dead. But pain, fear, keeps us in check. It keeps us making sure we're moving the right direction and growing. When you go to the gym to work out, if you are not sore, if you are not exhausted, you didn't do enough. You just went through motion, not execution. Pain and fear is immeasurable to know that you're going the right direction. If you have no fear, you ain't jumping off the cliff high enough. If you have no fear, you're not diving in deep enough. If you have no fear, you are too comfortable and this is not the right direction. You must have fear. I love to speak. Oh my gosh, as you all can tell. When I get ready to go on the stage, I am scared to death. Nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory. But I don't not do it. I don't cancel out. I get up there and I say, you know what? I'm going to be so empowering today that I bury the fear in passion. I bury the fear in execution. and I'm going to transform somebody. I'm going to take that fear. I'm going to take that bubbling in my stomach, and I'm going to turn it into a fire that burns everybody around me with passion, with zeal, with inspiration. If I didn't have fear, if I didn't have anxieties, I wouldn't be as powerful. It'd be too comfortable. It'd be too lackadaisy, too mundane. You have to have fear. You have to be scared. But don't let it control you. Believe in you enough. Understand your identity and resonate for the calling that you are. See, there'll always be stress. There'll always be responsibilities. The more you want to achieve, the bigger the distractions. Nick's a boxer. And I know, and he's kind of a big guy, but I know when he gets in the ring, he knows he's going to get hit. He knows that that guy did not have the right to step in the ring with him if they aren't qualified. And therefore, he knows it's going to hurt. He knows for an absolute fact. And I'll guarantee you, when he steps in the ring, he's probably a little nervous, got a little fear. He's probably studied this guy. And he knows there's a chance this guy could catch him just right on the chin and his lights go out. So he's got to protect that. And he's got to execute along the way. He can't just sit in the corner and let this guy pump. He's got to execute. He's got to resonate with the situation, adapt and overcome to have success. Will it hurt? Absolutely. Is he going to get worried in the second, third, and fourth round? Holy cow, I haven't made a dent in this guy, and my jaw, my head, my gut, my ribs, they all hurt. I could just throw in the towel, or I can get up and go again. Because here's the other thing that's an amazing Tobyism. If you don't quit, you can't lose. If you don't quit, you cannot lose. That is an absolute fact of life. Now, unfortunately, in boxing and timed events, time does run out. So it's not a matter of quitting, it's a matter of executing within a parameter of time. And there will always be challenges. All right, we're going to wrap this up real quick. You can just close it out. I'm not even going to go. You guys all have a copy of this pitch deck. I emailed it to everybody. It's in the Ignite program. It's 9:04. It's time. It's time. As we grow, as we build, as we impact more and more lives, it's time for each and every one of you to execute, to stop dreaming and start committing. It's time for you to share your stories. It's time for you to be committed to the absolute best you will ever become. And every day, you get better and better and better. Now, I'm sure I could call, I could call 5 people out right now and ask them straight up, did you do this? Did you do that? And I promise you, I absolutely promise you, the answer will be no, I did not, because I was waiting on this or that. And you can continue living that lie. You can continue living that life. You can continue allowing that to be the noise between your ears that allows you to stay in the rut you're in, or you can finally say enough is enough, and it's time to become the better me. It's time to become the absolute best version of me that God wants me to be, and then sit back and watch the world evolve around you. Sit back and watch life grow. Internally, externally, the fulfillment. When somebody comes up to you, hugs your neck, or sends you an email, or sends you a video and says, because of you, my life changed. Only takes one. I don't know if anybody here plays golf. But I'll tell you the worst thing for a scratch, or not scratch, for a part-time golfer like myself, the worst thing, the absolute worst thing for a person who plays golf for a hobby is to smack that driver on tee number one, 230 yards right down the middle of the fairway. It's the worst thing ever because then it's all downhill after that. It's that because then you're trying to make that shot again. But I'll tell you this, when you do it, it's the most empowering feeling. I, I walk on water when I do that. I literally, I want to, I'm like, guys, I'm done. I just hit a 230 yard right down the middle. We're done. I'm 110, 20 yards out. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to the clubhouse. You guys play the other 18 holes. No, because it was so fulfilling. It was so igniting. You want to do it again. And you hack and hack and hack and hack and slice and chop and this until you find that one more time. Because that's what it's all about. That's the feeling that life can give you. The transformation, the inspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 9:07. You guys, it's Monday morning. It is just a very, very enlightening day. Anybody have any questions or comments real quick?
Everybody needs a good ass kicking. Thanks, Toby.
Thank you, Rick. I'm on fire today. I'm on fire. And like I said, I was listening to this training podcast, whatever. I don't even like the guy. I just was driving down the road, thought I'd listen to him, and he brought this up, and I'm like, this is it. This is Monday morning. I came up here yesterday, put this all together, sent it out to y'all. But this is what we need, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we need. I'm done being nice. This is the Ignite program. This is not the sit by the fire sing kumbaya program. This is the Ignite. It's time to get ignited. It's time to get fired up. Christy Hicks, I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, Christy Hicks is such a amazing lady because I asked her 60 days ago, she was struggling with fulfillment, struggling with fire. And I said, you need to tell your freaking story and you need to not stop. You need to not stop. You need to get on YouTube. You need to show I don't know how. And so we worked with her for about 30 days. This lady now posts 2 and 3 times a day. And she and what I if any of you can do this, please do this. Go back, follow Christy Hicks, go back to her first YouTube post. Go back to the first ones. They are, and I'm not trying to be critical, but I just want to show them they're terrible. They're absolutely unemotional. They're robotic. She didn't have a clue. She was scared to death. And then you watch her today. She's just like she is right now, natural. She's her. She's comfortable. And she's sharing her message every second of every minute, every day. And that's what you're supposed to do. Thank you, Christy, for doing and being you.
You're welcome. Actually, that was me those many days ago because I was so, I was very heartbroken still.
Yeah.
And, one of the things that I appreciate about Toby and challenging me with this is because I don't believe in therapy. I don't know what y'all think, but this is therapy for me. And so I go in and I just talk about whatever. And if you see the first ones, you'll see where I was. And if you see this one today, you'll see where I am today. Now, I'm
They're
not
amazing.
always this bright and cheerful.
Oh, you are now. You are now. You are now. I watch every one of your posts, Christy, and you've got a smile on your face. You've got a glistening in your eyes. You've got a lifted spirit, and you're excited to share what you're doing. And so it may have been that you were mad, you were hurt, you were maybe a little depressed, but the transformation from video number one that you, me, and Taylor was struggling to get you because I'm not being mean. I'm being transparent. This lady didn't know how to even turn her video camera on. She didn't know. And today she runs these videos religiously. She does them with excitement. She does them. You can tell this is now a part of her life. And this is what I wanted. When I said, Christy, you've got to go share your story. It's a passion, it's a calling. You said this is what you want to do, then frickin' do it. Toby, I don't know how. I know you don't. And I'm going to teach you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to set you up. And she was scared. It was a daily, probably 3 to 4 times a day. She was reaching out. Toby, how do I do this? Toby, how do I do that? Chris, go to my freaking AI and ask it because I don't have time. I lost your AI. Here, I'll send it to you again. 2 weeks later, Toby, how do I do this? Christy, go back to my AI. I can't find it. You sent it to me. I don't know what I did. Christy, I favorite it. And now she's a queen. She's a queen. So I just wanted to share the challenges.
Toby.
If Christy Hicks can do this, ladies and gentlemen, anybody can do it, is my point. This girl has overcome so much, and now look at her laughing. She's excited. She has a new fire. She has a new passion, and she has an audience that will just support her till the end of time. She's creating a legacy, and that's all I asked of her. That was it. That was it. And she's a rock star. She's a rock star. Still completely doesn't know anything about computers, but she's so much more advanced today. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I try to do everything you ask me to on
You do.
computers. I just don't turn my computer off. That way I never have to figure out how to turn it back on.
Lord help us all if she has a power outage. If she has a power outage, I gave her Taylor's direct phone number. I gave her Taylor's husband's phone number so that she doesn't call me, she calls them. Heaven forbid if she has a power outage because she'll have to reboot her computer and then we'll have to reset everything back up because she probably has. And I have never seen your computer, Christy, but I bet you have about 34 or 37 tabs across your screen because you didn't shut nothing down. Yeah, see, look at her. So, all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hey, it's been an amazing morning. I need you guys to carry this energy, carry this through the week. I want you to see, I just want you to just, once we get off this call, do me a favor. Do me a favor. We get off this call, I want you just to give yourself 5, 10, 15 minutes of true reflection. Don't go right into your day. Do not go right into your day. It's 9, I'm gonna shut down at 9:15, and at 9:30, you don't do nothing. No emails, no phone calls, no nothing. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and for the next 15 minutes, do a deep reflection of what you want and what you will commit to. Write it down. March 16th at 9:30, write it down. And then start measuring it. Start reflecting and see, did I truly commit or did I make excuses? Did I truly step up to the plate to become the absolute best me? Or did I continue in my environment with soured soil and allow the excuses to continue my resistance? Ladies and gentlemen, it's amazing. You know I love you guys. You know I would not do this if I didn't. You guys are so amazing. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you next Monday morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Thank you.